So dear student, welcome you all to the first class of international marketing, official first class of international marketing strategy. So let us say what we are going to discuss today. So what is the agenda of today's class? So today I'll be talking about, again I'll be giving some instinct about, some information about what is marketing, the definition of marketing, how the definition of marketing is related to the definition of international marketing, what is the meaning of international marketing, and what exactly is international marketing concept is all about. Let us discuss some examples and all, and then we will understand the thing. Once we understand the concept of this international marketing, it will become very easy for us to understand the next level of concepts which you are going to study in this particular subject. So first I have given here the definition of marketing, which is given by American Marketing Association. So in the last class, when we were discussing the basics of the marketing, some students told me that my marketing is an exchange. Yes, definitely marketing is an exchange. It is not an exchange of only we are giving products, goods, and taking the money from the customers. It is not a mere exchange. That will become a selling. So what is marketing? So marketing is a process, okay? It is a process where it starts from the planning and you execute that plan, okay? So execute the plan into conceptions. You conceive the product ideas, then pricing, promotion, and distribution. If you see this uh, conception, you can say as a planning or a product conception, product idea conception, pricing, promotion, distribution. So if you conception, you consider it as a product. The product, pricing, promotion, distribution is nothing but place. It is a mixture of four P's of your marketing. Okay, so marketing is a process of planning and executing your four P's of marketing for what? For ideas, goods, and services. Then you create the exchange with the customer. Okay, so that the needs of both can be satisfied. When I'm saying the needs of both, let us discuss that in the next slide. Before we will understand in the definition what four P's we had. So we have studied in the marketing management or a business marketing business class. So this is not nothing new to you, but I just wanted to go through with the slide for once because this is the core of marketing, I can say. So product is that is anything of a value the customer is offered from the any company, organization, or a people, group of people, you say. Then the place is a location where the exchange happens. Promotion is something where you give the information, knowledge, you share the knowledge about the product or a service you are offering to the customer. Then the price is it is a willingness of a customer. Price is a willingness of a customer or a sacrifice of a customer, how much you want to pay to the your um, uh, for the particular product or a uh, you know service for that thing. So next, international marketing. So international marketing is the multinational process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchange that satisfy individual and the organizational objective. You might see here while I'm running the PPTs, you might be thinking that this is the same definition which we have seen for the marketing management also. So madam is giving us the same definition. Yes, it is the same definition. Okay, first we will see what is the similarity and what is the dissimilarity in this definitions at later stage. First we will break down this definition, which is a marketing definition, and the here the everything is same, so that's why I have put the breakdown in this slide. So let us see the breakdown of definition. So coming from the last sentence of a definition, so satisfy the individual and organizational objective. So individual and organizational objective means individual here is not an employee of an organization or a marketing executive or a salesperson who's at the or your sales executive who's at the end of your store with the customer who's exchanging your product, or it is a marketing chief executive or it is your operational executive. Individual here means a customer or a consumer, and organizational objective. Individual will be having an objective of satisfying his needs through the product or services which you are offering. So organizational objective is satisfying the customer whatever the needs and wants they have want in your particular product or services. So here we are, satisfying our organizational objective also. When once you satisfy the needs of your individual, that is customer or a consumer, through your product or services, definitely there will be an increase in your sales. By increasing your sales, your revenue will increase, profit will increase, your growth will maximize. These are the chain of reaction which have. So we are, maximizing your organizational, sorry, you are reaching organizational objective also, and we are, satisfying individual objective also. That is the first breakdown of your definition. Second, it says that second sentence from the last, if you come, it is an exchange of ideas, goods, and services. So marketing is not restricted to only products or a goods, tangible goods. It is not, toothpaste, or it is not a consumer durable refrigerator or a mobile phone. It can be ideas also, or it can. You might have heard about the management consultant. What they sell the ideas. Okay, they sell their consultants, their ideas. They sell their expertise in whichever they're expertising. They sell their expertise. So this is also a product. By selling that, management consultants are also getting the services. Your software industry is an example of services. Restaurant is an example of services. Okay. Uh, these are the example of services which is, they're selling tangible as well as non-tangible products, where ideas, you can sell the new product ideas. There are some people who are working under the marketing research, the companies which are dedicated to marketing research companies. If you don't have your marketing research R&D department, research and development department in your organization, you can outsource the research department to the marketing research companies. Outsourcing is an example. So these are the untangible products or untangible services. You can say that in the marketing. So it is an ideas also, goods also, services also. You are selling your ideas, you are selling your goods, and you are selling your services. It is not only a physical product you are selling. Okay. Then determine the consumer needs before creating product. Here it says, where is this sentence comes falls in. This sentence falls here. Process of planning and execution of the consumption. So conception is nothing but after doing marketing research. I said that there was a different stages of, in the last class we were discussing different stages of marketing. While discussing there was a first there was like industrialization time. Whatever I produce, you have to buy, because I have this facility, I can produce only this many goods. By using the facility available, resources available, you have to buy them. That era is now past, and then now it has become to the production concept, to the product concept, then product concept to the socialization concept. So marketing has developed a lot. So what we have to do is, it is not like I have a product, I'll sell this product, you have to buy, the customer has to buy this product. No, it is not a good idea, or the way we conduct the marketing activity. First we have to do a research about what are the needs and wants of the customer before creating the product. First we have to understand the needs and wants of the customer, what kind of uh, product they are in the need. So what extra I can be given here, what extra the customers are in the requirement. You might have already have some product, so you can give some extra features. That how we'll understand how, what features we have to add to the existing product by doing marketing research. So first what we'll do, we collect the concepts from the conceptualization from the by understanding the needs and wants of the customer, and there is a dedicated department, R&D department, where your marketing ideas, conceptions will be created as a good, created it's converted as a service, it is converted as a good, or it is converted as an idea so that you are ready to deliver it to the customer. So that there is a paradigm shift from what I produce you have to buy to what you want I produce. It has changed to that level. So next is distribution. Okay, distribution is nothing but the place where you have to in international marketing it plays a very important role, whether you are placing your product in a domestic market or in an international market or in a multinational market. So we will discuss in the forthcoming slides that what is this all about. Next one is a multinational process. Multinational process is nothing but coordinating and integrating your marketing activity across the borders and beyond the borders of your country. So all this four P's what we are talking. So we have to coordinate and integrate this four P's in an international uh, uh, market, in a multinational market or beyond the your country's border. That is what this definition is talk about. If we see the after this breakdown of definition, if you compare this marketing and international marketing definitions, you could see only one word here is added. Okay, this word is added to the definitions. Both the definitions look alike. Only one word is different here. I'm only adding a multinational process. Here marketing is the process. Here marketing is the multinational process. So only merely by adding multinational process, it is not an extension of your domestic marketing activity. No, you might say that okay, we have just added the multinational process, means it might be we are going beyond the domestic market. So there we are carrying out the marketing activity as similar to my country's marketing activity. No, it is not the same thing. So what is the major comparison? So I have added the multinational process. That is the only simple word you say, that it is by adding the term uh, we are differentiating international marketing from the marketing. No. So international marketing is not a simple extension of domestic marketing. So marketing concepts like your this product, price, place, promotion is a concept, is universal concept. It is applicable everywhere. Okay, but to carry out this, there is a different environment we have to act. There is a different culture. Okay, so we say that the controllable element and uncontrollable element, which you studied in the factors affecting marketing management. In marketing management subject, you might have studied microeconomics or macroeconomics factors, internal factors, external factors, which are affecting to your business or marketing environment. The same factor I'm talking about, the controllable element, which is inside our organization, which by strategies or policies or planning we can control, that your four P's. But the uncontrollable controllable elements like culture, political, legal, and technological, this type of competition, this type of factors which are not under your control. Okay, these are the external factors. These are the macroeconomical factors which affect your marketing strategy. So in the country, when you are doing a domestic marketing activity also, definitely these aspects will affect these uncontrollable elements. But into the extent we can control it, because it is our own country. We know the legal system here, we know the political system here. At least we can expect now what next will happen. Okay, you can predict our changes in a political activity, changes in a legal dimensions, changes which is coming in a technology. At least we can predict and will be prepared in a domestic, when we are operating in a domestic market. But international market, when we are talking about multinational marketing, we are talking about it is a the entire world we are talking about, where we have a different huge many differences in cultures, the political policies, legal policies. So when we are talking about these things in an international level, you can assume that the pressure of coping up with uncontrollable elements. So international marketing has to think about all these uncontrollable elements before entering into the international market and before carrying out the activities in the international market. So it is not just an extension of your domestic market. It is not just if I'm selling my goods outside the country that will become your, no, it is not like that. So we have to think about, we have to work for all this, and we have to come up with our marketing strategy, international marketing strategy to cope up with all those things. In detail, we'll study how to cope up with all this aspects in the coming classes. So let us go to the next slide. So what is the international marketing concept? Before discussing this slide, I want to give an example so I could relate that example. One example I'm giving, I'm going to relate that example in the next coming slide. So you all are a big fan of McDonald's, right? You all want to, drink the tasty Coke there. That the Coke is the best available in the McDonald's, that fried. The burgers are different category of different sizes, different flavors of burgers. You get veg, non-veg burgers, and all those things. When McDonald's entered the Indian market, McDonald's is an American company, you might be knowing that. So when McDonald's is a food chain which entered the Indian market, in the other European and American countries, those continents, they are the major consumers of non-veg. So they used to sell the burgers called hamburgers, where you use in the hamburger recipe, you use the ham, that is beaten meat of a beef and a beaten meat of a pork. So when it entered the international market, and it has came to open the franchising in the Indian market, we could find a stronger. Now the beef is restricted in many states. During that time when McDonald's entered the Indian market, that time the policies were different. So it was not restricted, but the people, the custom of the religion, which says that the major religion here we share Islam and Hindu and Christian. So many of the religion, they don't prefer ham, where pork and beef, we don't eat it. In Indians, many of them, they don't eat it. So not to hurt the sentiments of the Indian custom, McDonald's started, they have banned selling the hamburgers in India. Instead of that, they have, substituted their burgers with paneer burger, okay, make spicy paneer, and you make Maharaja. Indians feels that Maharaja kind of thing. So these are the some kind of burgers which is available only to the Indian market. So they have changed their product mix here. They have changed their product mix from other countries, other continents where the burger is accepted in the to should not hurt the Indian sentiments. They have changed their product line to serve the India market. So by taking this example, again, if you see in European countries, the McDonald's, in some of the outlets, they sell the beer as a beverage, like how you drink Coke, Sprite and all those things in the McDonald's restaurant. In Germany and all, they drink beer because they for their environment, for their natural environment, what we say, climatic conditions, that supports the consumption of alcohol as like how we consume the soft drink or a water. So they sell the beer there, but they are not selling any beer kind of things in America, in American states, or in Indian states, or in Asian states, because the climatic condition is not like that, and we have a legal restriction. So when you are talking about a legal activity, in US also about 21 years the liquor is available to buy them. So beer comes under the liquor category, so they don't sell the beer in the American. Even though McDonald's is a American company, it does not sell particular kind of products in its home country, but it sells a particular kind of product where it is applicable and accepted according to the culture by legal and by the social activity. Next, I'm going to talk about the concepts of the international marketing. I said in the previous slide that International marketing is not a mere extension of a domestic marketing. So when we start producing the product, first what we do, we try to capture the domestic market, which is the inside our national border, which is inside the country. That market is called as domestic market. So how much the capacity you have, what is your competitive advantage in the domestic market, you try to achieve it. When your company is growing, what you do, you expand the product line or you diversify your company to the different products, or a different horizontal expansion or a vertical expansion of your product or of your company. Okay, but you'll not go beyond your national borders. That is a domestic marketing. So if your product is a hit, then what you do, you try to come up with a new product or a new product line, or adding the additional feature to that product, or expanding your regional. If you're operating in a North Indian market, you start operating in South Indian market. Then if you are successful in both the North zone and South zone, then you will go to the West zone and the East zone. That is how you start expanding your uh, business or marketing activity, but within the your national borders. You will not cross your national borders. Next one comes as export marketing. In export marketing, what we have in export marketing, this is a first stage of in going international. Students, here I'm not talking to you about the various types of or entries to the international marketing. I'm just giving the concept. That thing we will discuss in the another classes, coming classes. So how to enter the international market. This is only a concept I want you to make clear with. So when I'm talking about exporting, you should restrict your thinking to this. When I'm talking about multinational marketing, you should restrict your thinking to this. So that's why I have given your title as a international marketing concept. It is not an entry strategy to the international level. That is a different thing. The entry strategies into international marketing, we will discuss that in the forthcoming classes. Now, after domestic marketing, we'll go with the first step to go the international marketing is the export marketing. In export marketing, what we do, we produce domestically. Okay, production takes place in a home country. We produce domestically. Any extra production after fulfilling the needs and wants of your national domestic customers, if you are available with the more products, more production, then what you do, I have a capacity to produce more. So what do you think that I can export this extra production to the international markets? So you start exporting the international market. So you are not taking any production activity, neither you're involving in any kind of marketing activity here. It is like a selling activity. You have an extra production in your company, then your that extra capacity of production, you want to sell it to the international countries. So this is export marketing. Okay, there the production happens in a home country, the surplus is exported to foreign country. When you are exporting your products to the marketing to international countries, what you do, you create an division in an organization in a domestic home country's headquarters. Say for example, you are operating in an entire India, you are headquartered in Bangalore. So in a Bangalore office, what you have, you create a division. As in a sales division, you create an international sales division, which carry out your export activities. Okay, there will be head and there will be hierarchy of people who are assigned to that particular department. So they'll not, do any kind of marketing activity. Just they'll take care of export activities. The best example products, agricultural products. So India usually produce some kind of agricultural product. They export these products to the to the international market. So they are not producing, they are not doing farming activity outside the border. They are doing inside the border, but the extra, after satisfying the all domestic needs, sometimes government itself or the companies itself, they what they do, agents, they take the your products additional production capacity, and they sell it in the international market. They export it to the international market. Sometimes you have in export also direct export and indirect export. Direct export means where you have a appoint a salesperson inside your organization and an agent in international market, and he export your products into the international market. And in direct means appointing a salesperson in an international country. So for example, you're exporting to the America, United States of America to be specific. So there you will appoint a salesperson only. He's not taking any marketing activity, he's only carrying out the selling activity. So you appoint a salesperson there, and what he do, he take care of your export should reach to the particular customers who have ordered for it. Indirect way of exporting is through the agents. So there are the many agent companies which only carry out the export. You might heard that what business you do. I'm an export agent. So these companies, what they'll do, this organization, just they buy from you and export it to the international market. This is about export marketing. So I have to think about exporting is only surplus production we are exporting here. We are not carrying out any marketing activity. Okay. Next comes an international marketing. In international marketing is an advanced version where we are not only selling the surplus, we produce nationally, and also to carry out the international activities. What we do was, um, what is happening?